Welcome to Frankenfur, the fast-paced fur-flying monster-building card game. In this game, you will play as a mad scientist creating the ultimate monster. The goal? Whoever has the most powerful monster by the end of the game is the winner. How do you make a monster? Well, the body parts, of course. This is a body part. There are 4 types of body parts in this game: head, arm, legs, and torso. You need all 4 body parts in play to make a full monster. You need to fully energize each one of these body parts to fully power your Frankenfur and bring it to life. See this number here? This is how many energy cards you need on this particular body part to make it fully energized. How do you get energy? Well, every card in the game can be made into energy. Just take a card from your hand and put it horizontal underneath the body part of your choice. You can do this once per turn. The numbers underneath each and every card is known as the card's voltage points. There are multiple types of cards in the game of Frankenfur: experiments, assistants, and the previously mentioned body parts. Most cards have different abilities that will help you accomplish your goal, disrupt your opponent's goal, or throw a monkey wrench into the very rules of the game. Experiments are cards with powerful, one-time use effects that can help turn the tide of the game in your favor. You can play an experiment, use its effect, then immediately discard the card after use. Now, assistants are a bit different. They are trustworthy allies that stay on the board and can do game-altering effects. They can be a good thing for you or a bad thing for your opponent. You can have 3 unique assistants in play at one time. You may play an assistant from your hand on your turn, but unlike experiments, they stay on the board until something happens to remove them. Now, let's talk about your turn. On your turn, from your hand, you can play 1 body part to the board, 1 experiment, 1 assistant, and any card from your hand to be converted into energy. Game tip number 1. Try to utilize all these cards during your turn. Remind yourself to energize and get an experiment on the board if you can. Game tip number 2. Once during your turn, you may discard any unneeded body parts from your hand to draw 3 cards. Always a good idea to do when you don't need that body part. At the end of your turn, there is one last thing that you can do. You can activate the cannon phase. This is how you can target an opponent's assistant that is in play and remove it from the board. You do this by looking at the target's health, this number with the heart. To use the cannon, once per turn, and only at the end of your turn, you may discard cards from your hand with voltage points equal or higher than the target's assistant's health. Look at the voltage point number at the bottom of each card. If you can match or exceed the health points with your discarded cards, your opponent's assistant is discarded. You can use more than 1 card if you need to. But wait, a player also has an opportunity to defend their assistant. If an opponent wants to defend their assistant, they must sacrifice their own energy cards from the board to defend against the attack. The defender must discard enough energy cards equal to their own assistant's defense, this number here. If they do, they have successfully blocked the attack. If they cannot, or will not, the assistant is removed from the board and discarded. Game tip number 3. Defending an assistant this way is a very risky move. The goal of the game is to have the proper amount of energy, so there is very few situations where saving the assistant is better than holding on to what you already have built. But if you really believe the assistant is worth keeping, go for it. Now on to the final act of this game, Doomsday. The first player to complete and fully energize their Frankenfur monster must initiate Doomsday by declaring, "It's alive!" Doomsday is the final moments in the game, where each player has only 3 turns remaining, so accomplish as much chaos as you can with the last 3 turns remaining. Doomsday starts with the player after the player who initiated Doomsday, and ends when the player who started Doomsday completes their 3rd and final turn, giving them a strong advantage because they have the last say on the battlefield. At the end of Doomsday, it is time to tally up our final scores. The main goal of Frankenfur has always been who built the best and most powerful monster. So let's calculate who has the strongest. To calculate your monster's overall score, you will be adding up the following voltage point numbers. Make sure to verify the numbers at the bottom of each card. To add your numbers together properly, add up all of the voltage point values on each energy attached to your body parts and assistants. Each completion bonus number on all body parts that have been fully energized. All voltage points at the bottom of your assistants. Once you have tallied up all of your voltage point values, a winner is decided. Whoever has the most voltage points in their grand total is the winner. Frankenfur is a game you can play in multiple ways. One-on-one, where both players have their own 50-card deck, free-for-all mode, where multiple players with their own decks, or even party mode, with one giant deck in the center of the table for all to draw from. There are many ways to enjoy Frankenfur. We hope you find the one that works the best for you. For more in-depth info on the game, please refer to the rulebook inside the game box, or check out our website for even more information on the game. The Carnivore and Herbivore decks are available now, with more to come in the future. Thanks for playing. We look forward to seeing your creations in the lab very soon.